right, here we go. TK Kirkland, the mighty return of VladTV.
My man Vlad. It's always a pleasure, sir.
Always
a pleasure.
A lot going on right now. But I just played you the Kendrick Lamar response record, Euphoria.
Yes.
People are saying it's not going to come out because Drake dropped two diss records.
Okay.
He dropped Push-Ups and he dropped the...
And I didn't pay attention to it because it was normally when he drops a diss record, it's usually not on the album. It's usually just a single. So when I heard, just through the grapevine, this is the attack on Rick Ross, the attack on Kendrick. I'm like, what's going on? I really wasn't paying attention until you just played what you played.
What did you think? As a hip-hop head from the very beginning who used to tour with NWA and Eazy-E and Cash Money and everything, you're a true hip-hop historian. I want to know what you thought because I played it for you for the first time about 10 minutes ago.
It was masterful.
Oh.
It wasn't no yelling and screaming. It was cleverly orchestrated to the T. And I don't know who helped produce it, but they did their thing because it was classy. It's like Joe Pesci in all his Robert De Niro movies.
Yeah.
Let's take Goodfellas.
Yeah.
When he's sitting at the table, he said, "What do you mean that I'm funny? I amuse you?"
Funny how?
Funny how? But they say people who talk low can get the same effect as a person who is screaming loud. So Kendrick Lamar is talking in a way that you gotta believe him. Now I know his whole crew down there in Compton. So I know they move a certain way, but when you got money, the way both of these guys got money, everybody got power. So I just hope that it stays entertaining. I hope that it stays, that you just go back and forth this records, because I've been around, I've seen them all. The first one was No Vaseline by Ice Cube.
Yeah.
And it destroyed everybody.
Yeah.
Right? When No Vaseline back in the early 90s was insane. Then you had my top three discs was Hit 'Em Up by Tupac.
Of course.
And when you heard Tupac do what he did, he wasn't even talking to you. But he put fear in you because the way he delivered the message.
Yeah.
This right here is not on that level. It's just amazingly done. And it's sad that music is coming to this, that everybody's attacking Drake. I just want to know, and I think all this stimulates over a female, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know about this one. I think this is hip-hop competition. I don't think Drake and Kendrick were messing with the same
so it's just
female.
competition.
In this particular case, I don't think there's a female at the heart of it. I don't think so.
Okay, so friendly competition.
Yeah.
Okay, so no hate and just friendly competition.
Right, but this started a long time ago because I remember I had Marcel Swiley on my show.
Okay.
And 10 years ago, he finally told the story for the first time because he had been hinting at this for a while. Because he said that someone came in and they dissed, it was either Drake or Kendrick, and they dissed the other person and they had to pull it from, they never ran it. So he finally told the real story because he doesn't work there anymore, but it was at ESPN, and Drake came in and went crazy on Kendrick, and afterwards, Drake's people called and said, if you guys run this, Drake is not going to host the ESPYs. So they had to pull it.
Okay.
It turned into him going at Kendrick Lamar and really going at Kendrick Lamar, saying, man, come on, man, I'm me and he's him, and all he just sunning him. And Max and I, while we doing an interview, we see full shot of Drake, we hitting each other elbow like, this motherfucker going in. We like, and he just kept talking trash about Kendrick. Whoever we talked to upstairs above our producers, this was a combo. Drake just called again. He said, if we air that interview, he's not hosting the ESPYs.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
You gotta count me out. That shit gone.
He pulled out the sledgehammer. So, but he had been dissing Kendrick for a while and sneak dissing and whatever else, and finally Kendrick responded.
Right, and then they used the AI voice of Tupac.
Yeah, Drake did that.
Drake did that
with the AI Tupac and the AI Snoop.
Okay, so that I know that upset the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, Tupac's estate basically made Drake pull it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was a little corny, honestly. I thought doing a Tupac AI voice for a Drake, I thought was just
Yeah, like
corny.
what was
Now, I'm usually a Drake fan, but that right there I thought was, I even tweeted, I said he should have kept that on his hard drive.
I really feel Drake should stay to doing what he does. Forget what people say about you. Just continue putting out good music, get the check.
Yeah.
I hate that him and Kendrick Lamar lowered their standards for a minute to address these type of things. Is because what made them so good is that they did ignore it for a while.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. That's the greatest. That's the greatest form of flattery in the world. When you got the ability to ignore someone, even though we live in the world today when you get attacked. Like I had my attack last year, and I didn't want. So for 2 days, I was going on Instagram. I was going on all the stuff, but my OGs pulled me to the side and was explaining to me, TK, you're making these other people famous. Leave it alone. And I fell back.
Well, yeah, because Kendrick even addressed that. He said, I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough.
Stay with the melody, because you're not a tough guy.
No.
He's not. If Drake, to me, when I went to see a Drake concert down in Miami, maybe 5-6 years ago, that's when Future was on it.
Possibly, yeah.
Or the Amigos. It was one of those two.
Okay.
It was the Amigos, I think.
Okay.
And Drake reminded me of a gym teacher. Like, you know, in the gym teacher and instructor, they run from one side of you jumping. That's what I took. Because I go to every concert there is in the world. And that's what I felt. And I was like, wow, people really like this. Because it wasn't I didn't like him as a performer. I like Drake is in the car, listen to how his melodies, because I think he's real clever the way he does that.
Yeah.
So to be tough is not him. He should have did it in a melody way, the way Kendrick Lamar. See, Kendrick Lamar didn't lose character.
No.
He did it the way he does all his songs, and he made you think. And you don't know nothing about that when he talks about being a father.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, and it's not what he said, it's how he said it. You don't know nothing about that.
Oh, yeah.
That was insane. I loved it. To everybody's listening, I would never say go listen to somebody getting dissed, but the Kendrick Lamar diss forget that it's about Drake. Listen to the music. Listen to the words and how they arrange that song is amazing if you're a music enthusiast.
Well, yeah. Kendrick said, y'all think all my life is rap? That's whole shit. I got a son to raise, but I can see you don't know nothing about that. And, you know, Drake has a son, but he's not with the mother.
Yeah.
So he has shared custody. And, of course, he parades his son and takes him to games and makes videos with him. But ultimately, he doesn't live with his son.
Yes.
His son lives with his baby mother.
Right,
and he even said in one of his songs that he only knew her like 2 times when she got pregnant or something.
Right.
Whereas, you know, Kendrick is married, I believe, and lives with his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he got him on that side. You know, I mean, what are you going to say?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm a better father than you, Kendrick.
Right,
No, you can't quite say that.
Right.
You know, no offense to all the, you know, the single dads and stuff like that, but it's not the same as living with your kids.
Yeah, totally different. It's a big difference.
You can't respond to that with something slick.
Yeah, you don't know
gotta
nothing
hold
about
that.
That's,
you got to hold that.
The way he said, when I'm sitting here listening with you, wow.
What about the whole, we don't want to hear you say the N-word no more?
Once it's out there, it'll never be the same.
I don't know if you heard, but at one point, there was an old video that circulated where Drake is talking about this other Canadian rapper, I think Cardinal Official, that he was beefing with.
Right.
And when he was referring to him using the N-word, it was like the hard R.
Okay.
It was, you could tell he wasn't comfortable saying that word.
Yes.
And you gotta, but then again, you gotta look at, Drake was raised with a Jewish mom.
Yes.
In a Jewish neighborhood in Toronto.
Right.
He had bar mitzvahs.
He sure did.
He had Friday night Sabbath. He was essentially raised as a white Jewish kid. And later on, I think he got more kind of comfortable with his black side and stuff like that.
The thing that I'm listening to you saying and thinking about what's going on, will it have the same effect of what 50 Cent did to Ja Rule?
Well, and I was going to mention that. I think what 50 did to Ja Rule was kind of play with his head and make him think that what Ja Rule had been winning with, he suddenly needs to switch up. Because we didn't love Ja Rule for his like gangster songs.
So true.
We loved him for I'm always there when you call.
Yes.
I'm always
Excellent.
on time. Like songs like that.
Yes.
Like love songs. Girl songs.
Right.
Like people loved him for that. He went multi-platinum, not for Holla Holla.
Right, sure
For
did.
the songs of Ashanti,
Yes.
he went platinum with.
Yes.
Multi-platinum with. But suddenly 50 Cent starts getting his head to make him think, oh, I gotta do clapback. And a New York anthem. I gotta do this. Meanwhile, 50's doing 21 Questions. Basically doing what Ja Rule's winning with.
Yeah, sure was.
And Ja Rule never got back in that flow of what made him hot.
So true.
Because after that, it was sort of like he kind of stopped putting out music. And now, if I was Ja Rule, I'd be like, shit, I'm about to drop another girl anthem. Watch this. Watch me go triple platinum.
So true.
I'm not going to sit there and play in the mud with you.
Right.
So with Drake, if Drake starts doing all this tough guy music, then Kendrick would have won.
Okay.
Because, when you look at Drake's biggest songs, the songs like God's Plan.
Right.
Nothing tough, nothing gangster.
Yeah.
No one's ever looked at Drake like a gangster.
No, not at all.
Ever. I met Drake a couple times.
Yeah.
I didn't get a tough guy.
No, he's
a tall guy. He's about 6'2". He's like my height.
He's a nice kid.
Yeah.
Listen, I've seen a nice kid to even go this route. That's what I'm saying to the young people. Listen, I've learned the hard way. Never let nobody bring you down off your level to come down, no matter how bad it seems. Because what I'm seeing with the world is we're losing all the principles of what makes us men, right? What makes men strong is you don't have to address certain things called wisdom.
Yeah.
You keep winning. I did a post not too long ago about eagles.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
How eagles fly alone.
Yeah.
And when if you know about eagles, they get attacked by crows.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they get attacked by crows, but the eagle doesn't fight the crow. The eagle goes to greater heights because after you get a certain past level, crows can't breathe. So they start falling off.
And I actually looked it up. Do you know the reason why crows attack eagles?
Why?
To try to steal their food.
Haters.
The little grubby little thieves.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. You got to say. And I've learned all this through just trial and error in life. And that's why I try, when we come on here, we have these deep conversations because I knew that our conversations would get into certain people. But Vlad, they call me from all over the world about you. And one kid was crying. I actually called me on my Instagram page and he called me crying about how me and you changed his life. 20-something years old. He said, you and Vlad, man, I can't believe I'm talking to you. He said, you and Vlad, these conversations you had have put me in. And like I said, whether we get one person, Vlad, we did what we're supposed to do.
Well, leading up to this, there was the Drake records, of course.
Yes.
But then J. Cole dropped a record and then apologized and then took the record down.
Everybody asked me about that, about the J. I didn't hear the J. Cole thing. They asked me, what did I think about J. Cole taking it back and apologizing? And I just think, first, what was the diss about? Why was J. Cole dissing Drake?
Well, because no, he wasn't dissing Drake. He was dissing Kendrick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Kendrick kind of called out everybody on the Like That song, where he said, fuck the big three. It's just
okay.
like me.
So wait a second. So Kendrick came at everybody first.
Yes. Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, and then Drake came with his.
No. So Kendrick came at everybody on the Future Metro Boomin song.
Okay.
And then J. Cole was the first one to respond.
He
dropped a song.
I understand
He
it.
dropped a response song, but then a couple days later, he took the stage at his festival and said, hey, man, that was the corniest shit I've ever done. Kendrick's my man. I'm sorry. And, and like in the song, he talked about how Kendrick has no classics and rah, 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 rah. It was an okay response record. It was about a 5.
Okay.
Maybe even a 4.
Okay.
But never in hip hop has someone dropped a diss record and then apologized and took the record down.
Never.
So I had a field day. I called him, I was calling him J Fold.
Right. That's hilarious. Hilarious.
And just was like, I had a problem with it. And a lot of people were kind of going back and forth with me. Even Russell Simmons kind of responded to me. Me and him had a conversation about it. Where it's like, oh no, this just shows growth and it wasn't right with his spirit and whatever else. My thing is like, J. Cole's been talking his shit for 10 years.
Okay.
Saying he's the best ever.
Right.
No other rappers allowed on his albums because they can't hang with him. He'll destroy everyone. He dissed white rappers on the song called Fire Squad. He dissed Iggy Azalea. He dissed Lil Pump.
Okay.
He's been saying he's the best and no one can hang with him. And then finally he gets put to the test and he folds.
I understand.
That's the problem I had with him.
Okay.
He
so
wasn't
you truly
PM
know
Dawn.
his history.
Yeah, if he was PM Dawn and he was like this gentle, I love everyone type rapper and suddenly people are coming at him, I could see why he would do that. But the fact that he's been playing this I'm the best, tough guy role for all these years and then suddenly he folds.
Now I understand because I didn't know his history like that. And it's true. It's called in Texas they call it you flushed him out. He got flushed out because now you know exactly who you really are. But at the end of the day, that's how he wanted to move. But in hip hop, that's not the law. No,
and in fact, I can't listen to another J. Cole lyric about him bragging and take it seriously.
That's my point.
It's like, well, what
see,
about
as a man, I can respect you if we talking. But when you're in that arena, if you're gonna pull the trigger, pull the trigger. Don't pull out the gun to no man if you ain't gonna shoot.
Right.
And that's what he did.
Yeah, Jordan apologized to all the people he beat in the finals.
Right.
He didn't send his ring out to everyone so they could wear it. Exactly. They could feel good about themselves.
So
no,
true.
He won. They lost.
That's exactly
what it is.
That's what
Deal with it. It's a sport.
Live with your decision.
Well, speaking of basketball, LeBron, KD, and Steph Curry are out of the playoffs.
Yes. And that's kind of sad. Now, here's what's crazy. Not probably till Sunday, I realized Golden State wasn't in it. So I didn't really miss them.
Yeah.
I just said to myself, yo, Golden Gate's not playing?
Golden State.
Golden State's not playing?
Yeah.
So I was like, wow. And then everything started hitting. So I was watching KD and them get swept by the new kid, Anthony, because I'm a fan of this kid.
Yeah.
This kid, Anthony Edwards, is insane.
Yeah.
And but LeBron last night went out with one of the most phenomenal efforts of a ball player. Well, not just him, the whole team. They went blow for blow with Denver to the end. And if anything, I always tell people, no matter how good you are, you still got to have a little luck on your side.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what. And Denver had the luck on their side. But when you really think about it, Denver is a better team to go up against Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the better team because they're younger. And I think if the Lakers would have played them in 7, Minnesota would have won because they're not the same team they was in September.
Yeah, and after the game, when a reporter asked LeBron if he's coming back to the Lakers, LeBron just walked out.
Man.
So they're saying that LeBron might not be with the Lakers again.
Yeah, he when he left last night off the court, you saw it in his face. He was getting ready to say something. He got his composure together.
Yeah.
And he walked right off the court.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the court. And you knew, and if you know body language and facial expression, you could tell he was irritated.
I mean, look, he's 39 years old. I think a lot of people are looking forward to him and his son both playing in the NBA, maybe even on the same team.
Yes.
That would be crazy. because this never happened before.
Yeah, it's never happened before.
And LeBron is a different type of player. He spends $2 million a year on his body.
Yeah, and it shows.
And but he can afford it, so it's not a big deal to him.
Right. Yeah,
right. But like no one else does this.
He's in shape. He's in. You can tell a person in shape. Ever watch it when a guy runs? The bounce that they have. It goes to show you how strong their legs are. And he has a bounce that's like a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
And for him to still be able to dunk and at 39, and I've been watching basketball ever since I was a kid. Most of these guys in their 30s can't even dunk no more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he is obscenely tall. What is he, like 6'8"?
Yeah, he's like 6'8", but he still can get up though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the oldest player ever was a guy named Nat Hickey, who played until 45.
Man.
But he was almost 46. He was 45 in 363 days.
Man, that's insane. Yeah. What team? And by the way, to all my fans, Vlad looks amazing, yo.
Thank you.
I just want to show everybody love. Vlad back here looking.
He played for the Johnstown Clippers.
Okay.
Back in 1951.
1951, okay.
So this is a long time ago. So this is not the modern era anymore.
Yeah.
It's not the modern era. The modern era, I'd have to look it up. But,
okay.
LeBron is an anomaly. He always has been since he was a kid. So we're not really surprised.
It's amazing, though, how fast it went by, right?
Yeah. I remember when he first came in the league.
Remember?
Yeah.
You remember when he first came?
I remember.
It's flown by.
Yep. Well, listen. Father Time is undefeated. I don't care how old you are or how good of a shape you are. There is someone that's going to be younger than you that just has natural advantages over you.
Yes, absolutely. Like I've said that I wanted to race Katt Williams.
Okay.
In the 40-yard dash because I came up running track. And one day I was thinking, and I said, TK, you're 64. Like your mind is saying that you can beat Katt. And the reality start kicking in, right? I said, what if Katt is really this fast?
Yeah, well, Katt is 52.
Yeah, but you can still have a little speed at 52. Better than a person that's 64.
Yes.
Right? So I said, what if Katt really is this fast, T? So I withdrew my...
I mean, Katt does look pretty fast.
He looked like he's pretty fast.
So
as a strategy, let's use Belichick as a metaphor. I said, let's say Katt can get me in the 40. I said, TK, be smart, because his takeoff could be insane. And 40 yards is not enough to catch someone.
Yeah.
But 60 yards.
100 yards, yeah.
You could get him.
Yeah.
See, so I thought about all those scenarios. Then I started really thinking about my age. I run every day, right? And I was like, you got nothing to prove.
Yeah.
Leave that alone. So Katt, I was just playing. Don't even worry about it. But if we do see each other on site, we're gonna run 40 yards on site. Because I stay ready.
Well, speaking of age, you got Mike Tyson, 57, fighting Jake Paul, 27.
Yes.
30-year age difference.
Now, what did they just do? Did you read it?
Well, they just made it official. They just made it official where it's actually going to go towards their professional records.
Yes.
So it's not just an exhibition fight.
Now, when they did that, I said Mike Tyson going to beat him.
Oh. Well, but Mike Tyson doesn't have a perfect record, though. Keep in mind, he's had a lot of losses on record.
That's so true. But
he's not Mayweather.
Yeah, he's not Mayweather.
Yeah.
But on this, Mike's going to beat that kid now. I promise you, Mike Tyson's going to, because now it's serious. Now there's something at stake here. And
Legacy.
Yeah. And Mike's not, no disrespect to that young man, because he's been whooping subpar fighters, right? Not
you're right.
true
you're right.
fighters.
No, you're right. He's been older guys, UFC fighters, not really boxers.
And you should, and that
basketball players.
Yeah, you saw that heavyweight guy in London, how he knocked out that other UFC fighter. What's his name?
Francis Ngannou?
Yeah.
Well, he knocked down Tyson Fury. He didn't knock him out.
No. This guy he fought the other black dude and he knocked him out with one punch.
Well, Ngannou got knocked out, I believe.
Yeah, whoever got knocked out. I'm not good with the names. I'm glad it's Googling this right now so we get
Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua got Ngannou, yeah.
Yeah, whoa, got him.
Yeah.
So UFC fighters, other than what Mayweather did, don't have those type of skills to be in the ring.
Right.
Now, Jake, is it Paul Jake?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Give me people. He's good, but when you're Mike Tyson, is like riding the bike. So by Mike Tyson 30-year difference, I think that it equals the same. Yes, the kid got youth on his side, but because he's not as experienced as Mike is, I think that Mike could get him on skill.
Well, he definitely has more skill. That's not even close. I mean, Mike Tyson has an immense amount of skill.
Exactly.
And, you know, I remember when I interviewed Tyson and I talked to him about when Buster Douglas had the follow-up fight and he lost to Holyfield, how he wasn't really ready for the fight. He was heavy and not in shape. And Tyson basically says, you know, he was like trying to find the right way to say it without really insulting him. But he's like, you know, there's a certain type of bloodline that you have when you step into the ring for a championship fight. You put your whole life into it. You put your heart into it. You take it completely seriously. And he said, clearly, Buster Douglas didn't do that.
No.
In that fight.
I totally agree.
He got, you know, Holyfield destroyed him. He got a big check and he didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight.
He didn't want to fight.
He didn't want to fight. I talked to him about this. You know, I interviewed Buster Douglas. But I think when Tyson gets in the ring, he's not just getting a check. He really means it.
Yes, he really means it.
Every time.
Yes.
Now, he did lose a couple of those professional fights near the end of his actual career, and he at one point he said, "Listen, I'm done."
Yes,
I
he didn't want to be evil no more. He didn't want to be mean no more.
And I think, like, you know, listen, I just interviewed Jorge Masvidal, and he said that that's why he doesn't like Jake Paul, and he's, you know, trained with him before. He's like, he doesn't have that meanness. He's like a nice guy.
Jake is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he said, like, the best boxers have that kind of, you know,
they come from nothing.
That angry, evil, Mike Tyson, I want to eat your babies.
Right.
You know, during the fight.
Yes.
Afterwards, we could be cool. But during the fight, it's like, yo, I'm trying to kill you.
Right.
Jake Paul doesn't have that.
He doesn't have that.
Yeah. Tyson has it.
I might go to that fight.
Ooh.
If I'm not on tour, I might go to that.
I might go to that fight too, actually.
I might go to that fight.
We should get tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might go to that.
Let's do it.
I'm down.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because I think I get to see my daughter, and it's in Houston, correct?
I think you're right.
Yeah. Listen to me. Houston, July 20th.
It's going to be crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, look and see what my date is in Houston with Live Nation, House of Blues. I think it's the same time. That'd be great if I have a show the night before or the day after.
July 19th.
And what day is the fight? The 20th.
July 20th in Arlington, Texas. You there?
Oh, it's an hour. You got to catch a plane.
Yeah.
That's Arlington is in Dallas.
Okay.
So it's two different. Yeah. So it's still insane.
Yeah, it's close.
It's close. Yeah, it's not that far. Yeah, that might be the move.
That's the move?
Yeah, that might be the move. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, let me know.
That's a 99% that we'll do that.
When you get tickets, make sure just call me first. Get an extra ticket. I'll pay you back.
Yep. Okay, I like the way you move.
Yeah, exactly.
You got it.
Yeah,
and
just
he
get
pays
two
me
tickets next to each
You
other.
see what he said? He pays me.
Of course. Of course. I wouldn't ask another man to go buy me a ticket.
Yeah, the Vlad pays me.
Yeah, that's how we do.
I love him.
While the whole Drake and everyone else beef was going, Chris Brown and Quavo started going at it. Now, that was definitely over a girl.
It's over a girl.
Sweetie.
And I just want men to understand, once that girl's not yours no more, leave her alone.
Yeah.
The young kids today, not even young kids, older men too, I just feel they have nobody like us for them to listen to. It's so many options.
Yeah.
When it comes to the females, that you don't have to mention nothing about an OX. You don't have to mention nothing about none of that, especially when you're with a woman already. And you got kids with a woman already, and you are talking about your ex from past. It's disrespectful. There's no character as a man. And for men to go back and forth, because here's the bad problem that Quavo's doing. He doesn't see it. He's setting himself up so when that one day she leaves him, he still looks like a fool.
Well, he's not with Sweetie anymore. They had broken up years ago.
Wait.
Yeah, so
Wait,
apparently...
let me just finish first.
Yeah, they broke up.
They're talking about somebody and none of them are with this person?
Correct.
You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
I'm dead serious. Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, well, I mean, at one point, Quavo and Sweetie were a couple. Now, Quavo...
But they're not together.
No, they haven't been together in a while.
You kidding me?
In fact, when the two of them started going back and forth, Sweetie posted a DM of Quavo still trying to slide back in her DMs.
How the...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know, and at one point...
Arguing over somebody and none of us are with that person?
At one point, Chris Brown in one of his songs alluded that he had slept with Sweetie while she was with Quavo. I don't know if it's true or not. But no, nobody's with her anymore.
Wow, what the fuck?
Nobody is with her.
What is going on?
I don't know.
Vlad, let's talk for a second. I'm talking like they was together.
No. Hold on, let me look this up.
Listen to me, guys who are following these stories.
They have not been together since March of 2021. 3 years ago is when they broke up.
What is going on, man?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. 3 years ago they broke up.
So this is where you listen to me and Vlad, young men and women. Guys, when the girl is done and you break up with her, you don't talk about the next man that's dating your ex. If you got a new chick, you stick with her. You go on about your business, and that's it. Unless she's your baby mama, and still, then you gotta be cordial. Yeah. I just did a DM episode when I talk about men should start thanking the baby daddies, the stepfathers. And let me tell you why, because even though as a man, you're supposed to raise your child, but I tell people all the time, sex makes babies, not love.
True.
So if you have sex with, you may not love the girl, but you want to do the right thing because you got a child.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you may not love the child and may not love the woman, but because how you was raised, you want to do something. So if another man does come in to that woman's life and help raise that kid, the man who's raising the kid, don't put the baby daddy down because your woman that you with now was a hoe at the Hampton Inn. She was kicking it with a dude, eating cheese and eggs in the morning, not being responsible. So what she did, because of her mistake, she met a guy who got his life together. She took where she was not accountable, placed it on you. Now, psychologically, you got to pretend. Because that's all it is. It's just great acting. I got to raise another man's child, and you really feel you have achieved something. But it's downfalls to that just like it's pros, right? The downfalls is you could put another man's kids through school. The downfall, the great thing with the pros, you can put another man's kids through school. You could do a lot of great things. And on your deathbed, the kid don't like you so much, he won't even come see you. It could get so bad that if the mother leaves and you took care of that kid because that kid don't feel obligated to you, he could drop you off at assisted living and leave you there. These are things you got to deal with. So when you go into that field, don't expect anything in return. Just be there because that's what you want to do.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times
these are facts.
Right, and a lot of times men have their own kids, which their woman will help raise as well. Most times. Not always, but most times it's a blended family of some sort. It's not ideal, but you make the best of it.
Yes, because what I want to show the world, I don't want men to be stepfathers. I think it's too much pressure for a man. I think that you get in way over your head. You think this is what you want to do.
I've never, one time I dated a woman with a kid and she tried to push the kid on me in the very beginning and I felt very uncomfortable.
Yes, because
I didn't like it. And I never went back and did that afterwards.
Here's the thing about some men, right? You see a girl with a fat ass or whatever you like about that woman.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby. And she's like, I got kids. And the guy is so infatuated by, he says, I want to meet your children. I want to get caught up. I want to be with you. And then they see how serious it is to be a man when you got to pay rent, when you got to bring food, when you got to pick up from work or there's one car. But you love her so much she's driving your car. You now taking the bus. Give you an example. I got a friend, and I don't mind saying it because I really want him to lead the chick. She leaves her husband in Ohio. They hook back up. He lives in Jersey. He drives to Jersey to go get her. He got his own home.
Ohio to Jersey.
Right.
What is that, like a 15-hour drive?
Yeah, he drives to go get her. He brings her back to Jersey. He had his own house that his mom left him, the family left him, nice home. Was doing pretty good. Been with her maybe a year now, maybe a year and a half. Don't want to go home. Drinking beer, depressed, borrowing money. She's never done that. She had kids. She brought the kids with her. So it's a bad situation that a little longer if he dies, right? Just saying she can get the house. They're not even married. She gonna get it on default because of...
Damn.
That's my point. So there's some men in the world who can't get sex from a woman. This is just facts.
Yeah.
So when they do get a little ass,
They lose their mind.
They lose their mind. They
That
get
used to be me back in the day.
on a regular
Back
basis.
in the day, yes.
You're getting a
Not
little
anymore.
ass, and you feel good,
Yeah.
right? And at night, you putting your little thing in something. You know, you're under the sheets. You feel amazing, but then you wake up to all these serious, grown-up, serious issues.
Yes.
Rent. You got to take on another job because the job that you have is not making enough money for a
everybody.
woman that's
Yeah.
you're not married to, and for kids that belong to somebody else. You're putting yourself in an early grave for a situation when you could have met somebody else. And that's the thing with most men and most women. They're afraid to meet other people, or they're afraid to be alone.
Yeah, look, I had Michael Jai White on my show recently,
Mm-hmm.
and he said something that really resonated with me. He said, most men in prison are there over a woman.
Oh, yes, they are.
I remember when I was with Jim Brown and in the troupe, when we were doing a lot of things in prisons, we did this thing where we would be talking to a lot of inmates. And one time we had about 60, and we everybody who didn't think that they were inside because of a woman thing, we broke it down, and everybody in there realized the root to why they were in prison was from a woman.
Yeah.
Or the sexual thing. You know, it's like, you know, so I had to make money. Why? Because I have, and then so you could get what? Okay, you're done. Okay, you shot so and so. Why? Because he was disrespecting me. Why? Because I was, because I was, he was in front of a woman.
Woman.
Okay, we just kept doing that, and it's like, man, if people just even if a rites of passage were to figure out that shit early on.
Now, you could peel back the layers. It may not appear that they're there over, oh, no, I got into it with this guy. But then when you start peeling back the layers and where the argument started, you'll usually see a woman at the heart of that
let's
conflict.
go deeper in that conversation. Some men think their girl's gonna wait for them. They have phone time.
Yeah.
The girl to break up with that person on the phone. The guy gets so depressed. They don't talk about this, but this is facts. They hang the phone up, go to the top of the tier, and jump off and commit suicide because the woman broke up with him. Let's go deeper. Back in the day, you can do a 3-way call. You could, say we was all locked up. You like me a lot. You're like, TK, hey, baby, TK want to use the phone. He wants you to call such such. So now you got I got your girl's number. So I call when need so she can make the 3-way call. This actually happened, what I'm about to tell you. The guy got out before his friend hooked up with his girl. Got her pregnant and everything. When he came home, she had to tell him that those two was together. A guy that was his buddy in jail, who got out before him, hooked up with his girl.
Yeah. Cold world.
You hit it right on the nail.
Cold world.
So now let's go deeper. My people in Chicago, some of them are cops, and I know street hustlers too. This is what a cop actually told me, who's a friend. He said, TK, do you know that most arrests that we make, the guys on the street think it's their enemy? He said, but my crew, we be knocking down, they be having sex with the hustlers' women. The women tell on their guy. And that's how some of these cops catch their cases. So I always tell men, the worst, especially in the streets, the worst thing you could ever do is talk your business in front of a woman. Because once she gets mad, because most men cheat, most men are doing crazy things that's gonna make another woman, but once she's got information on you, when she's mad and she don't care, it's done.
Did you see what happened with Neo?
I didn't see it. My friend told me how he said that woman was reckless.
Right. It was his baby mother they have 2 kids together. I guess he had 2 kids with her while he was married.
Okay.
And ultimately his wife found out and they got a divorce, whatever else. So there was a video of him at the house and he's just trying to play video games and she's screaming at him, calling him Diddy Jr., saying he's having freak-offs with the kids around or something, claimed that he body slammed her or some shit. And look, the next day she went on Instagram and she made a big apology. I'm sorry, I was in my feelings. There's always a great reason to do something stupid.
Yep.
Right? But that video's out there. That's it.
It's a wrap.
Permanent.
And women don't understand that when they do that. Did she call the police?
No.
Okay. Yeah, once it's out there, there's nothing you could do.
That's it. It's just part of your history at that point.
It's part of your history.
Forever.
And if somebody's ignorant or didn't see it, if they got beef with you, they'll always reference that.
Pull it out.
There's nothing you could do about it. It's embarrassing.
Well, the Chris Brown and Quavo beef, there's no babies involved. I can imagine if it was
I think
baby
that's
mother.
embarrassing.
It kind of is.
That's embarrassing because me discussing this, I'm thinking somebody was still with the woman.
I don't know, man. I mean, there's a verse when Chris Brown said, R.I.P. Takeoff, he the only real one, I got true respect. Crazy how when he died, everybody really wished it was you instead.
Man.
So, it's going below the belt, talking about dead people, and
yes.
you should have been dead instead of him.
There's no rules no more, man.
No, there isn't. And then, of course, Quavo did a response, and on the cover, there was a picture of Chris Brown choking Karuchi. So you recreated that.
I saw that.
It's a lot of pettiness. And, then, of course, Chris talked about the elevator fight between Quavo and Sweetie. And it's just a whole bunch of mess over a girl who last I checked was dating YG. She was a whole different rapper at this point.
Isn't that amazing?
And they asked Karuchi what she thought about it. TMZ, the airport, she's like, leave me out of this mess.
I love that.
She don't want to be part of it. She don't want to be part of it. Sweetie don't want to be part of it. A bunch of dudes fighting over a girl that neither one of them could claim.
Every guy's grow up. That's all I can say. Because me and Vlad got other things to be talking about to address this dumb shit. Yeah. Grow up, yo.
Grow up. Well, of course, there's the Diddy situation. Now, when you were here last time, the Cassie lawsuit was underway. I think he had just settled.
Yes.
But since that time, the FBI raided both of his houses. So, now, you know Diddy personally.
I know very well.
I've met him before.
Yes.
I don't know him that well, but I have met him before.
I've never been to none of his freak-offs.
No, I haven't either. I never got invited to a house party.
I did go to couples parties back in the 90s when it was just wholesome parties.
Right.
There was no freak-offs.
Right.
He really gave, and I'll give people their props, he really gave one of the greatest birthday parties I've ever seen in my life back in 1996, 97 in Atlanta at a club called 112. He had the whole Morehouse marching band in the parking lot. This is when the Hyatt now in in Atlanta, across the street near Lenox Mall, was, Google what the Hyatt used to be, Vlad. The Hyatt was another hotel prior to that. back in the 90s. I forgot the name of it.
No,
But-
Atlanta transformed, man.
Yeah.
I was just there. And it's like all the, like the club where BMF had their shootout, that's not a club anymore.
Yeah,
it's
just buildings now.
It's just buildings.
Yeah,
It's like high-end stores now.
High-end stores.
Something crazy happens, they'll tear it all down and start over.
But you could see out the window the marching band.
Yeah.
And the party had a theme of it. They had women with snakes on. It was like it was amazing.
Yeah.
But it's sad to see. I guess you could call it a downfall of one of the greats.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been charged yet, so we don't know.
But reputation-wise, is tarnished.
Reputation is definitely tarnished.
Yes.
But what's more serious than that is, like I remember it was announced that he took one of the biggest second mortgages out in U.S. history. He pulled out $100 million out of his properties, which to me seems like he's preparing for a legal defense.
Okay.
He sold Revolt.
Yes, I saw that.
So it seems like he's stacking
now he took
money.
out 140 million, right?
Well, I heard 100 million from his houses, but I don't know. You might be right.
Yeah.
It was a huge amount.
A huge amount.
It was a huge amount.
Now, why do people do that? Now, in my head, I'm thinking, I study a lot of finance, right? They say when you take out the 100 and something, are you using it? Is it a second mortgage?
You now own. Yeah, if you own the house outright, you could basically, or if you, let's just say you owe a certain amount. Let's just say you have $100 million worth of properties,
right?
And you owe $50 million on them.
Okay.
You could, the other $50 million you actually have ownership of. You could take a mortgage out for that other $50 million.
Okay, and just pay that.
And just have cash, and then pay back another mortgage.
Okay, so here's what's funny, and I have to share it.
Okay.
All my life, when you hear people say equity in the house, man, you got equity in the home.
Yeah.
For years, and I hope I'm not embarrassing myself, I'm thinking equity you get to keep.
No,
but
it
you
just
gotta
means
pay
you have
equity just a
ownership.
loan.
Well, no. Equity means, okay, if you have $1 million house,
Yes.
and it's paid out completely, you don't have a mortgage, you have $1 million in equity. You own that.
Yes.
You don't, unless you take a loan on it, you don't get it back until you sell it.
Okay.
That's what equity means. If you have $1 million house and you owe $500,000 on it, then you have $500,000 in equity.
So if I got a $600,000 home,
Yes.
and there's like $200,000 equity.
That means that you owe $400,000 and then the rest of it you've
So if I
already
took
paid
a
off.
loan on that $200,000, I got to pay that back though, right?
So now you have two mortgages essentially.
Okay, because the $200,000 is like another mortgage.
Exactly.
That's not really mine.
Right.
So the $200,000 becomes mine if I own the house outright.
Correct.
Understand? Okay.
Correct. Well, if you own the house outright, you would have the whole $600,000.
Okay.
You wouldn't have any mortgages at all.
Bingo.
For example, I own my house outright,
Okay.
right? So if I ever need money, let's just say I need an extra $1 million.
Yes.
I could go to the bank and say, listen, I own this multi-million-dollar home. I need a quick $1 million. Okay, cool. Your house is your collateral. Give us the deed.
Thank you.
We'll hold the deed for now.
Right.
And, we'll give you $1 million and you could pay that back.
Yeah, and you will get it too, because
Yeah.
it's real estate.
It's real estate. Yeah.
I want
Exactly.
people to understand that.
Yeah.
Real estate.
Yeah. I own real estate.
Yeah.
And it seems to me like, look, when it comes to criminal defense lawyers, like you don't give them a down payment. You don't retain them. I just, I interviewed Drew Finling.
Yes.
He's like the top guy from Atlanta, right? He's the one that represented YFN Lucci, got him to 3 years.
Yes. It's crazy.
No, got him 3 months off of a RICO case.
Right.
He represented Boosie. He represented,
How much
Big
time did
Meech.
Lucci get?
Lucci, with time served, he got like three months.
He's out?
No, he's not out yet.
Wow.
We should be out pretty soon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he had a bunch of house arrests. He had a bunch of time he spent in jail. So the whole deal was, with all the time served, there's like 3 more months left.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I remember talking to Drew, and he wouldn't tell me how much he charges. I remember Boosie kind of blurred out something like $300,000 or $500,000 or something like that. And what he said, what Drew said, that he said there is no down payment. If we take on your case, we want the whole amount
So true.
up front.
Up front.
I mean, in terms of a retainer, how much of a retainer I need to give you to just kind of get the ball rolling?
There's no getting the ball rolling. We're going to hit you with a number, and that's going to be the number.
Okay.
But it's going to be big.
So if it's $1 million case, give us the $1 million and we will go to the end for you.
Absolutely.
So in Diddy's case, if I were to guess, he said, look, I mean, obviously Diddy
Is he
has a lot of money.
representing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, using it as an example.
As an example.
Okay.
So in Diddy's case, if I were to just eyeball and see what's happening, Diddy's probably thinking, look, the feds don't just raid houses because they feel
Oh,
like
yeah, we know that.
there was
Absolutely.
a grand jury, a judge signed off, somewhere they felt confident enough to go after this billionaire that's going to have all of the resources in the world, but they feel they have their ducks lined up.
Yes.
So now Diddy's going to say, okay, let me put together my legal team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to pay this lawyer $1 million. He's going to bring a team of people. It's going to cost another $1 million. And then I'm going to hire private investigators. I'm going to hire all these experts. Because
Yes.
remember the OJ,
Yes.
like, you know, if you,
Yeah.
like OJ, I remember like watching his documentary, what he would do, because OJ had money, but he didn't have enough money to pay for his whole defense.
Right.
So he would sit in his cell and they would give him a stack of deflated footballs.
Yep.
Because the regular footballs were too big.
Right.
So they would deflate the footballs, give him a stack of like 100, 200 footballs, and all day long while waiting for his trial, he would just sign footballs.
Yep.
And that's where he came up with a lot of the money.
Made a lot of money.
Because at the time, everyone wanted an OJ signature.
Yep, sure did.
Yep.
That's insane.
Well, OJ passed away since last time.
I've been talking about that in my stand-up, and the way I talked about it is, let's give OJ his props. He did run for Buffalo. He was one of the best NFL runners in the NFL. He did the Hertz commercial, and I said, we know he killed the bitch. So we know he did it. I said, but OJ's family, OJ's family, you still invite them over for Thanksgiving, but you hide the knives. I said, you hide the knives, but he's still family. And God bless him. And, it's a shame we all got to go. Shame we got to go. But, he had to run with it. I hate that most of these gentlemen, when they get towards the end, what they remember about some of the worst things imaginable. And what I tell young men, when you see a Puffy, when you see a R. Kelly, when you hear about anybody that you liked at one time, you see them going through something, always say to yourself, I don't want that to be me.
Yeah.
Always say that to yourself, and that will give you a catalog of things to live by for the rest of your life so you don't do the same thing. Because what's crazy and people don't understand it, you could be 78, 82, lived your whole life. You made it to the 9th inning. Do something wrong, they still will lock you up. They're not gonna, you can't do something, they say, oh, you're 82, we're not gonna arrest you. You lived your whole life perfectly and nothing's gonna happen to you. No, they'll still take you at 82.
Yeah, that happened to Robert Durst. You know that whole story?
Yes.
HBO did a documentary on him called The Jinx.
Yep.
This guy was in his late 70s. He had killed 3 people. Got away with all 3.
Got away.
In fact, the second guy he killed was his neighbor in Texas.
Yes.
He admitted to killing him and chopping up the body. And he still got off. He got the best lawyers. He said he couldn't decide. Him and his wife were on the phone arguing. He couldn't decide which lawyer to go with. There's 2 top lawyers in Texas. He couldn't decide which one to go with, so he just hired them both. This guy's worth like $100 million.
Yeah.
The Durst family owns a ton of New York real estate. He's worth over $100 million. He got away with chopping up a body. And then at the end,
The mic was live.
well, yeah, I guess these filmmakers did a movie about his life, a situation with him, and he liked the movie, so he decided to go and do some interviews, to interview with him. And then at the end, he went to the bathroom with a hot mic where he kind of admitted to killing everybody. Police used that, as well as other evidence that he talked about in the interview, to put him back in prison.
Isn't that interesting?
And he died in prison. He got life. He got a life sentence.
Sure did.
He only lasted like what, a year and a half or 2 years in prison.
Yes.
If he was outside,
Oh yeah, big difference.
access to all the best doctors and
Yes.
medicine
Yes.
and move around.
The food in there is gonna
The
kill you.
food, the access to medical care. he'd be alive today.
I totally agree.
He just had to talk his stuff at the end and show people how smart he is. And he even talked about how he lied. Like, you know, like I remember I watched it all again. Like there was this one thing when his first wife disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that, oh yeah, I called her, you know, after she went to New York, I called her on a payphone. He said, no, I lied about that. I just had to put her in New York. He's admitting to his role in a murder
Yes.
that he never went to trial for. So clearly it's still an open case.
Most men don't understand. And I'm not condoning crime, people. But that's why they say a lot of dumb criminals.
Yeah.
You get El Chapo, who was in the mountains, got caught because he did an interview with one actor.
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn.
Yeah.
And he also came out the mountain to get tacos.
To get tacos, yeah. He went to prison over some tacos. Those must have been the best tacos ever.
For some effing tacos, man.
Look, OJ, you gotta hand it to him. He kept it gangster to the end. Everyone's, waiting for the deathbed confession. Never happened.
Yeah, never happened. That's in the movies, ladies and gentlemen. Stop thinking people, when they get ready to die, they're going to confess to stuff.
Never happened.
That's just the movies.
He owed $30 million to the Brown and Goldman family.
Yes.
He paid like $130,000.
$130,000.
Was living his best life in Miami.
Was doing it.
Golfing. He had his pension. He had his house. He hid all his money. In fact, I came extremely close to setting up an interview with him. Yeah, I don't think I told you this story. So I DM'd him one day on Twitter because he was heavy on Twitter. He was posting up football predictions and whatever else. So I just DM'd him. I said, hey, interested in doing an interview with him, with you. He's like, okay, talk to this guy. Because, now that he's dead, basically it was revealed he had all these cash businesses on the side.
Which is smart.
Yeah, he was paying people to play golf with him. He had this guy here. And like this so fits into the narrative. Because I talked to the guy and I said, look, I want to do this OJ interview. He's like, oh, how much can you offer? So I'm like, most I could do is $100,000.
Right.
And at first he passed. That's not enough. Oprah's offering us $250,000 or something. I'm like, well, I ain't got Oprah money.
Yeah,
so.
right.
You go with her. So then a while later, he called me back. He's like, okay, something, he wants to do it, but he does, if you get too deep into like the murder question, into the blood evidence, he's going to walk out or whatever. But, if you just keep it that part light, he's going to do it. I said, all right, cool. $100,000, let's do it. He said, all right, we're going to need the money in cash. I said, okay, check with my CFO. She was like, all right, well, they fill out a W-9, they do an invoice, we do a cash withdrawal. Everything's on the up and up.
Yes.
Cool. We could do it.
Okay.
All right, cool. Give me the $100,000. I'm going to want all the money before he walks in the room.
Okay.
I said, no, I'm not doing that.
Why?
Because what if I give him the money, he drives off? He already owes someone $30 million. What's the extra $100,000?
Will he be right there when you get, like, right there?
I'm not going to hand it to him. I'm going to hand it to his man.
Oh, no. I can see it, but I have to see it. I didn't mind giving it to you if I see him.
Yeah, what if he drives off?
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I paid DMX $15,000 for an interview. They insisted on getting up front. DMX died. Wow. He rescheduled, and then the rescheduling turned into a bunch of rescheduling, and he's moving around, whatever else, and then he dies.
Yeah, it can happen.
So when people tell me, no, we're good for it, I got you, I just tell them the DMX story. Can you convince me that he won't die? No, you can't. So therefore, this is not a serious conversation.
Makes sense.
I said, I'll give you half up front and then half after the interview.
And that makes sense.
He said no.
No, then there's no deal.
I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $75,000 up front and $25,000 at the end. No.
Okay, then something's wrong.
Something's wrong. I said, listen, you want me to trust a guy that owes $30 million and is not paid?
No. You did the right thing.
Right.
If that's more than fair. More than fair. I'm right there. I'd have the cash. I'd have my security. Right.
You could have your security.
Yeah, more than fair.
But my whole thing was, he's like, well, as long as you don't ask the wrong question, he's going to sit there and talk. And I'm like, well, I'm not supposed. What if I ask the wrong question 10 minutes in? He walks out. I'm not going to shoot him. I'm going to watch my money walk out the door.
Absolutely.
So, and that's what I found in life. I want everyone to pay very close attention.
Okay.
The people that I have the most issues with working with business-wise are scammers themselves.
Understand.
When you deal with regular business people, hey, do this interview, do this job, I'll pay you after. Okay, no problem. I know you, Vlad. You have a reputation. You don't have a reputation for not paying people. We're going to be right there. I'll give you the check before you walk out the room. I'll wire it before you go. I'll be like, okay, cool, no problem. But when you deal with the scammers, the guys who have a history of ripping people off, I remember we had this problem with Ric Flair at one point. They wanted to do an interview and they insisted on having it up front. You look into his history, he owes a bunch of people money, he's been sued or whatever else. These type of people who scam people are so scared that karma will come back and they'll get scammed.
Right.
They create ridiculous situations to try to protect themselves to the point where people will just not work with them. Regular businesses. So you end up losing money yourself. OJ could have had an extra $100,000.
Easy.
To talk for like 3 hours.
Right.
I'm upset because it would have been his only real life story interview. It doesn't exist anymore. But I don't regret my decision because I still have to protect the company.
Understand.
I can't take a $100,000 loss.
No.
I might actually go and try to beat up OJ.
Right. Yeah, 100,000.
I might catch a case myself.
100,000, 100,000.
100,000 is 100,000.
100,000, 100,000, sir. Trust me, 100,000, 100,000.
So it's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
No matter what level you're on.
Yes. I mean, going back to the Diddy situation, listen, it's a mess. It's a bunch of lawsuits. 50 Cent's baby mother got dragged into it. She was called a sex worker. Oh, you hear about this?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Daphne.
Daphne Joy. Yeah. Well, because there's a lawsuit by this guy named Lil Rod who claims a bunch of ridiculous things. And he named Daphne Joy, 50's baby mother.
Yes.
And Young Miami as sex workers.
Yes.
So 50 had a field day, called her a sex worker. And look, listen, I had Gilbert Arenas here the other day. He said, well, how do you prove you're not a sex worker? If you're hanging out with Diddy and you're having sex with him, and he's giving you money, you could technically be called a sex worker.
And why are you there? What's the connection?
Why are you there?
And
listen, a lot of times, look, most powerful men have people that will go and bring girls to them and stuff like that.
Yes. So true.
This is just how it works. They're not out there, on dating sites trying to holler at girls themselves.
Yes.
They got people that handle things for them.
Yes. So true. I've seen it.
And that in turn could get you hemmed up later on.
It can get you in. See, back in the day when I was growing up, the ones who I saw did it the best was Eddie Murphy.
Really?
Eddie would send Fruity and all those guys to go meet different women, and boom. This is how I was hanging with them when I was a kid. And I just was very, very observant. But all the stuff that you hear about Puff, and everybody got a story.
Yeah.
But it ain't official until you see the guy with the umbrella.
Farnsworth. I know Farnsworth.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, everybody else can say what they want. If Farnsworth come walking in to court with the umbrella, and he's twirling it, and whatever comes out of his mouth, you know it's a true story.
I think I lost the footage, but I remember I did an interview with him. He mentioned the whole umbrella thing. He said, listen, man, I was an assistant. It was raining. I pulled out an umbrella. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
But the picture made it a big deal.
Yeah, the picture made Let him come to the table on the interviews. I guarantee you people believe him more than they believe anybody else.
True.
Shout out to Farnsworth. God bless you too, fam.
NBA young boy is back in jail again.
That hurt my feelings, man.
63 charges.
Yeah, that hurt
over
me.
prescription drug fraud allegations.
Then have you read that indictment?
I haven't read the indictment. I've just read the
You saw the
articles.
He had women working for him to go to different
pharmacies
to pick up the drugs, and I guess one of the women got in trouble, and they impound the car. But this is where he made the mistake. He called the police department, tried to pretend he was somebody else, and they recorded his voice.
Of course. Why wouldn't they? Everything's recorded at the police station.
And that's how they got him. They realized it was him.
Look.
But before you say that, kids, if you got a case that you're not just a regular state case, you're fighting a federal case in Louisiana.
Yeah.
That the judge allow you to spend millions of dollars to go to Utah.
Yeah, live in a mansion.
Live in a mansion that you're paying for a security team on top of that to live your best life. Horses, snow.
All your kids.
Your
baby mothers.
Baby mom.
People could fly in and do interviews with you, record
Right.
music with you.
And you put yourself in it. Vlad, there's something. Before we start going what you're saying, let's go deep on the mentality of the world. Something's really happening out here that kids just are not connected to logic and doing the right thing. And maybe you can help me, or maybe we can help somebody that's watching. But there's something, and that's not in the rapper level. It's the level of the Donald Trumps as well, because Donald Trump got people believing that the Capitol wasn't attacked.
Right.
I'm watching CNN last night. There's people in the millions that still are going to vote for Donald Trump.
Donald Trump's going to win, I think. I think Donald Trump.
Now, let me tell you.
I don't see him losing.
Here's the reason why I think that he'll win.
I don't see him losing.
Because I go way back to the Afghanistan war, right? I've seen all those politics back in the day. Whatever president is in office and there's a war and the public is against that war, that presidency always loses the next go round.
Yeah, and right now there is the whole Israel conflict.
Yeah. The schools, the kids in the college So the worst thing you can do in the election year is have the kids against you.
Yeah, and the kids are against Biden right now.
The kids are against Biden
That's
right
true.
now.
It is what it is.
Now, a man told me a long time ago in the airport, you got to choose which plane you want. This was Andre 3000 from Outkast. He said, you got to choose which plane you want. So two things are going to happen here. You got Biden, who's letting all the migrants in down to Mexico, who's allowing the war to go on, in which to this moment I'm still confused. I'm being honest. Yeah. I don't know what side to take. I'm just confused. Then you got what Donald Trump's going to do when he gets back in the office. And one thing I could assure you this is going to happen. Every judge, every prosecutor, everybody that took a shot at Donald Trump in his 4 years, he's going to get everybody back.
Oh, yeah, he's petty.
He's petty.
He's petty.
He's going to get everybody back. And then he's going to do stuff to protect him even more with changing laws, executive order, etc. Right?
Now it's going to be a mess.
These things is going to happen. So anybody that vote for Trump, here's what I want to say. Be careful what you wish for. Because even though, and that was this way 4 years ago, I didn't know who to vote for. Because it was either way. One was going to be worse than the other.
I voted for Biden last
year. Yeah, either way is going to be either way, right? And it's going to be same. So whatever Biden has done, look at what's about to happen is going to be 10 times worse. Now, let me ask you another question. If Trump loses to Biden, can't Trump run again in another 4?
Yes.
You
can do 2 terms. So there's no time limit between those terms.
No, I'm saying this election.
That's what I'm saying. So he's done 1 term.
Yeah.
So he could do another term 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 100 years from now. As long as he's alive, he could run.
So if he loses, he could come back again.
Correct.
You might as well let him in and get it over with. Because he's not going to stop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but he is old, though. He is in his 80s.
Yeah.
So.
For the first time, he started looking old when I saw him in court.
He's 77 right now.
Yeah, when I saw him the other day in court coming out, because Trump has abused the justice system like no one has ever seen before in my life. That you could come out front after you're in court and curse the judge that you just saw and talk about everybody and not get sentenced to Rikers Island.
He got sanctioned like $9,000.
$9,000. They still being nice to him.
Yeah.
They still being nice.
True.
Every person that's not on that level knows about being reprimanded. Knows that you're supposed to go in and say yes, sir, to the judge.
Not Trump.
Trump don't care. Amazing.
Well, I mean, young boy, that thing. I mean, look, you could call it what you want, but this is a junkie that we're talking about.
Yeah, this probably.
Let's just
These
call
are
it what it
facts.
is. This
It
is a
is what
drug
it
addict.
is.
This
Yeah.
is not a rational human being.
I agree.
You avoided sitting in a jail cell this whole time.
Yes.
And got to live in a gigantic mansion.
Gigantic. Man.
Yes, you can't go out.
So we were
and-
gonna do the movie Baller Blocking up there. Me, baby,
Not
the
anymore.
director.
Not anymore.
Everything was getting ready to go down.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. You should be in a jail cell, but instead you have a good enough lawyer to finesse the situation to let you sit up
So true.
in a mansion with your kids, with your wife, access to whatever you need.
With an
Yes, you do
Aston
go
Martin
a little stir
outside.
crazy. I get it.
With an
No-
Aston Martin outside.
With an Aston Martin outside.
Beautiful car.
And all you have to do is not do drugs. That's it. I remember when Boosie, he got arrested, he said, I stopped smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
I had some bad nightmares that a bear was eating me, whatever, but something, I got over it. It's better than
Right.
going back to jail.
That's right.
All he had to do, and not only do you not supposed to do drugs, he's posting pictures of himself with like pills and he's lying on the floor looking like he's high.
Yeah, I saw
like,
that. People thought he was trying to commit suicide or
Man,
something.
look, all you got to do is not do drugs. Because whatever situation you're in right now is way better than a jail cell.
Way better.
They're not putting you in the mansion jail cell.
No.
You'll be in the jail cell just like everyone else.
And I hear the young kids complaining that how jails is horrible. They do that so you don't come back, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen. It's not the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah, I always think about what you tell me about how when you got to Rikers, they gave you someone else's underwear to put on.
Man.
Used underwear.
It's the worst feeling in the world. Now, here's what's crazy, and I'm going to share it because we got to send a message to people. Not only do they give you someone else's underwear and you see it in slippers, you actually got to bend over in front of a man.
And cough.
No.
Oh, you don't cough anymore?
Take your hand and spread your butt cheeks open
Ugh.
to another man watching you to make sure you don't have nothing in you.
See, I don't know what's worse. Doing that for the CO or the CO having to do that as their regular job.
I totally agree because
Because it's bad.
when I was locked up, I actually said to my cellmate, because I'm think crazy. I said, that when you go to sleep at night, you think of your day. When you close your eyes, your whole day flashes in front of you.
Right.
I said, this man goes to bed every night thinking of other men opening their ass.
Buttholes, yeah.
Buttholes. But that's it. That's
Like, oh,
torture.
You've been eating corn, huh?
Right. Yo, that's torture. To close your eyes and see that every night.
No, you can go back to work the next day and look at more buttholes.
Because you can't block it out. You can try to, I'm not going to think of that.
Yeah, then that one guy slips in a knife and then you lose your job.
Right.
Right, so you got to really look in there.
You funny.
You got to get your camera out. You got to
This
get your
is
phone.
crazy,
you
man.
need Your light. You got to really get
Shout
in
out
there.
to the COs who do time just like the prisoners. See, when
Yeah.
when you go and take them jobs, only thing that's different, you get to go home. But you locked up.
You locked up.
8, 9, 12 hours.
I
if
can
not
tell
more.
you, I can tell
I couldn't
you
take that
with
job.
full seriousness, no matter how bad my life got, and I was sleeping on couches at one point, didn't have my own place. At no point did I think I'm going to become a CO or a cop or even join the military. I just felt
totally
like
agree.
just everything under that umbrella
Yes. You don't even
just
think like
wasn't,
that.
it wasn't even an option.
Yes.
It wasn't even a thought.
Yes, I agree.
I got to have control over my own life.
I agree.
So going
Young
to
kids,
work and looking
yes.
at buttholes
Kids.
or arresting people
Yes.
and fighting.
Or just getting in trouble, right?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
say that you don't want to work for the white man. To say you don't want to have a job. Then you get in there and you rush to be a trustee. Sweeping and mopping the floor so you can get out early for everybody else and you get an extra sandwich. Or an extra cookie. Or somebody like you down at the cafeteria and you get to eat chicken more than everybody else after everybody leaves and cook like, yo, save this piece of chicken. So you feel special because you're eating it. Oh, man. When I was in Rikers, what's my man that sings the song Whoa? Black Rob.
Black Rob, yeah.
We was all together.
Okay.
And Black Rob was comfortable. When Black Rob came in there, Black Rob went to commissary and must have bought up the whole store. He had so many food in his cell that he was the store. But guess how I was thinking? I didn't accept no letters. I didn't accept no phone calls. Because my goal was to get out. See, everybody else, I saw what they did. Guess what they did? When their pictures came in the mail, they put them up in the room. Put their cards up.
They got comfortable.
They settled.
Yeah.
They knew they was gonna be there. That wasn't my mentality. I said in 30 days, because that's I got reprimanded for 30. I didn't do like the prison time. I got reprimanded because my judge got mad because I hired a new attorney. And I had already took a deal, and that pissed her off. And I didn't even know what reprimanded was till 1998. What's that? And I was so dressed up, cashmere coat, wrap around, nice sweater tie, nice slacks. Let me tell you why I was embarrassed. When I would come into the court early, you think you're doing something because you're early. And the officer used to say, "Hello, counselor." They thought I was an attorney. And here I am, got to go and check in. And I'm sitting next to people who's not even on my level as far as wardrobe-wise. And it embarrassed me. That right there also embarrassed me. So that whole thing, the last time I got in trouble, really woke me up about life, really woke me up about the decisions that I make, really taught me to stay away from certain situations when I've had fights in the past. And I really never did nothing. People don't know what I've gone through. See, I know the consequences of retaliation. See, you could be tough all you want on the street. Like one of my friends used to say to me at the barbershop, they got a place for you. So you could be tough all you want. They got a place for you. So when you're living a good life like us, and somebody come in your life and just for a split second you want to act tough or think you should retaliate, you say to yourself, it's not worth it because I've been tested on the lifestyle that I live today. The universe has tested me. Do you really want this lifestyle that you claim that you want, or are you willing to really throw it away? And every time I pass it, I'm awarded. So to the young kids, let NBA situation, which is bad, please let it be an example that do not throw your life away. Because you know it's worse? When you're really successful and you lose it all.
Yeah.
Because you see the difference. You see going from caviar and meatballs, the best type of spaghetti, right? To eating a hard food. Give me an example. O.J. Simpson, when he got in trouble, he beat his case. He didn't want to stay on the low. Mm-hmm. He gets caught about his memorabilia in Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah.
He gets 9 years.
Yeah. Well, I think he got more. I think he got like 25 years,
but he only
did 9, yeah.
So now you go to jail. Watch this now. He eats that horrible food. And he gets prostate cancer 9 years later.
Oh.
I guarantee you, if he never had that case in Vegas, he'd have never got prostate cancer.
That's true. Yeah.
I put money on it that it never happened.
No, you're right. I mean, listen, like, they don't really care about you in prison.
No.
You're not going to get your choice of doctors. You can't get a second opinion.
No.
There's no second opinion.
No.
You get the overworked doctor who hates his life, that's really, he needs to see 100 patients in a day, and he looks at you and said, you look fine, next.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go.
It's so true.
And you're next.
And I really feel that if he would have never went to prison, I'm not saying he would have lived longer. He would have he would have lived longer.
He would have lived longer.
He'd have lived longer. He'd have lived past, he'd have probably got into his 80s. I'd give him 9 more years.
Easy.
I'd give him to his 80s.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with going to jail, ladies and gentlemen. The food in there, you wouldn't give a dog.
True. No, I remember when I got locked up in Brooklyn, I remember one of the dudes in my holding cell was like, yo, Vlad, don't eat the food. I'm like, why? He's like, you don't see the COs eating this food. Like, yo, trust me, don't eat it. Mm-hmm. I didn't eat it.
Yeah.
And luckily, I was only there for like a couple of days.
I ate the Jello. That's when they just have Jello. I was a Jello guy.
Now, they had these like bologna sandwiches.
Yeah, and the bologna sandwiches. But I would not eat the bread. I would just tear half the meat, but because I was a somewhat celebrity, the COs used to bring me up to the I guess the station, and they get my Blimpie sandwiches, because that's what they had back east. It was Blimpies. It wasn't Subway. You know, I have your Blimpie sandwiches, and I would sit on the floor while I was eating so nobody else could see me. You know, it was them type of moments. And I know people always say that we talk about jail a lot, but we have to.
Yeah.
Because your young kids is getting locked up all the time, and you're not getting it.
Yeah, I mean, look.
You're not getting it.
Fetty Wap is locked up right now. He had a multi-platinum album, multi-platinum singles. I remember Leo Cohen, came here. He said that at one point, Fetty Wap saved the label. You know, he was on 300. He was the biggest artist on the label. This was before Young Thug really hit his groove or whatever else. He was the hottest thing smoking.
And it was a nice album.
Big songs.
Yes.
I remember there was a video, I'm always going to remember this. He's on his balcony in the hotel, and he's just literally throwing money out the window. Just to do it. There wasn't even people underneath. Showing off how much money he has. Man. Buying his little man a BMW i8 just to have a video to show off.
Right, I remember that.
Then the money slowed down. Child support payments kept going. The bills kept going. So he starts selling drugs. Then he gets caught. Big surprise.
And he wasn't doing on no low. He wasn't even doing on low. He was selling drugs.
He was involved in drug selling. And look.
He was on a whole nother level.
You think, like, when the shit comes down, if whoever you're dealing with is going to go to the police and say, well, I can give you Fetty Wap, the multi-platinum rapper, drop my charges, I'll give you a big fish.
You better believe it.
And now he's in jail.
Yeah, you better believe it. I talk about that in my stand-up. I say there's no honor amongst thieves. There's a myth in the streets that people say all day about snitching. Oh, he's a snitch and blah, blah, blah. And I tell people that all you got to do is Google what's going on.
Yeah.
Snitching is the biggest payroll day in America.
Everybody's snitching.
Everybody's snitching. Yeah. So stop with that because I'm saying it. I'm a simp and I'm a snitch. No, I read.
Yeah.
And I watch documentaries. Even Gotti's people.
Gotti himself.
Snitched. Exactly. Even Gotti was a snitch.
Gotti cooperated. Same with the Bull cooperated. Yep. Everybody cooperated.
They sure did.
And everyone went to jail.
All went to jail. So if you don't want to have that snitching, just don't get in trouble.
Well, I was in Atlanta a few months ago, and I went to Faison Love's house, and he said, the next time you interview TK, ask about the time that I saved his life.
I just talked to Faison, too. Yeah, Faison's my man. And what happened, I was late to a comedy show. Because being a player, I wound up having sex with this woman before my show and overslept. Got to the club and these gentlemen called themselves trying to jump me. They wasn't running the comedy show. They was thinking they was some gangsters. I had already had the Puffy case, and Faison wrote a character letter for me to that particular judge.
He mentioned that. Yeah.
He mentioned that? Yeah. He wrote the character letter for me. So this particular day, after that fight, these young men didn't understand what they had did. And I had so much hate in me that I had my crew pull up and we got out stuff and we was getting ready. I think we would have killed everybody. And Faison saw me.
Yeah.
And he grabbed me, took me in the car.
That's exactly what he said. He said you had a gun ready to shoot somebody.
He was about to kill him, yo.
Yeah.
I promise you.
We would have never met.
We'd have never met.
Yeah.
It was that bad because it was disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I had to, in all my life when I got jumped, I had people say they knocked me out and I had to deal with the lies. And they don't understand what I gave up as a man because I was a different kind of guy 20 years ago. And I changed so much because when you have children, you have grandkids, it's really something to live for. And I thank Faison to this day because he took me in the car. He was mad. I'm talking about he was like mad at me. He's yelling and screaming about, yo, I just wrote a letter to your judge. Like what are you doing? It was so funny. But Faison Love, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. And he's one of my closest friends that people don't even know that we're really that close. Me and him go way back. And Faison was so successful. He was like Michael Jackson to me because I saw him come from nothing. Me, his mom, all of us are tight. And when Faison was on the Robert Townsend show, back in the TV.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Faison was getting so much money that I would be on, we talk almost every day. Faison was at some store. And I heard him tell whoever he was shopping with, just send that to the house. And I was like, you said, to this day, this got to be over 20 years ago now. I said, Faison, I still laugh about that to this day because that's when you know you're on another level. When you go into a store and you say, send that to that, you got an account with them, you got this thing going, and you're like, just send that to the house. Shout out to Faison Love.
Well, speaking of jail, Keefe D is still locked up.
Yeah, I thought about him when I walked in here for some reason.
Yeah. And his lawyer did an interview on, Las Vegas News where he basically said that Keefe D is a liar. He was never in Las Vegas. He only told these stories to make money and to get out of another criminal case. And they can't place him there. And he's going to get off with this defense. Now, I remember I brought this up to Greg Kading because I figured this was going to be the defense. He said, that's not going to fly. We have all these witnesses. We have this, we have that, we have all the stuff. But, this is going to be the defense. There's no other defense.
Right.
You already admitted to what you admitted to, and then you retold the story on different platforms. It's all on tape.
And they got a book.
The book isn't covered under the proffer agreement. And he's an older man. He's like 60.
Yep.
I mean, how do you see this turning out?
Bad. It goes back to shut the fuck up, excuse my language. People just don't understand. This fame stuff is addictive.
Yeah.
It's addictive. It's like, I'm thankful for social media. I'm thankful for you because you helped propel my career, right? These are facts. I'm happy about that. But I also see the downfall of people who don't understand what this is. They come here and they think to talk about a crime they committed won't get brought back up to surface, right? Don't think somebody's gonna let that slide. But people watch your show. The cops watch your show.
Yeah, no, I'd heard that the chief detective in the Keefe D case, he said that my interview with Keefe is what kind of piqued his interest.
Right.
And it was a big interview.
It was a big interview.
Millions of people watched it.
And like I said, I still rock with my crew in Compton. I still rock with my crew in Cleveland.
Yeah.
They come to my shows and everything, we talk. And they was really mad at Keefe.
Oh yeah, no, I remember I did an interview yesterday. It was a guy from France, and he was working for like the Time magazine of France. They're doing this big article on Keefe D, so he met up with me to interview me about it, whatever else. And he showed me, he had went out to Compton to interview about a bunch of Southside Crips that know Keefe and stuff like that. And he showed me a picture. One of their phones had this cartoon that someone made of basically Keefe telling on himself.
Wow.
Like, and talking himself into prison. It was like a cartoon that someone made.
Yeah.
And they have it on the main screen of their phone.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, and all my crew is hustlers. OGs now. They about their grandbabies. They want to go to the park and cook on the grill. This conversation comes up a lot of times. And we just wish Keefe the best. And, when people get in trouble, they always say, where's your friends? Like everybody was saying, where's Puffy friends at? And I wanted to share with the world that you young kids, I don't know who taught you this way of thinking. When you get in trouble, you're on your own.
Correct.
I don't know where they started at. Your friend's supposed to speak up for you, and where are they? That's not the way this works.
The best you could hope for when you get into some sort of trouble is that your real friends will just remain silent and not pile on.
And they talk to you. They actually, you need something. But if you're rich
they
already,
talk to you behind the scenes, but you can't expect, and I've gone through this myself, you can't expect for your friends to start a big public crusade in your honor.
Yes, it doesn't happen.
Some people will do that who really feel indebted to you, but most times your friends will be like, hey man, listen, I'm going to remain quiet, but I'm not going to add to your problem.
Absolutely. You're supposed
And
to
that's fine.
Yeah, I don't get
And
it.
that's
Man.
fine.
They think they're supposed to have this
Yeah.
parade. No, dog. The rules in life. You get in trouble, you're on your own. Now, don't get me wrong. When you beat it, everybody will come around you and you celebrate and have a party.
Right.
But when you go into court,
Yeah.
people ain't gonna get in that car with you and go up there with you with the judge.
Nah.
Not
Nah,
even-
you're on your own,
You're
man.
on your own.
You're on your own.
You're on
And
your
look,
own.
listen, Suge Knight's in jail saying free Keefe D, saying Orlando wasn't the shooter. And they're saying they're going to call Suge Knight to the stand. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a train
Yeah,
wreck.
That's a train wreck.
You know, because Suge hasn't cooperated, period.
Right. Sugar is not that kind of guy.
He's not that kind of guy.
He's not that kind of guy.
And in fact, you put him on the stand, it's probably going to cause more problems
I agree.
than advantages.
I agree.
Because there's so many things with Suge that's just going to fall apart.
I agree.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, I hope Keefe gets through it. It was never my intention. You know, like I remember this really got me because, you know, we're talking about the Robert Durst documentary.
Yes.
The filmmakers, the documentary makers, I remember reading this. They filmed the whole interview, and the interview was sitting on their hard drives for like a couple of years, and then one of their like assistants found, you know, the audio of Robert Durst admitting to the murders at the end. So they called the authorities and turned that footage in. I would never do that. I think that's grimy.
You are kidding me.
They called him up and basically they made an agreement with law enforcement because they're going to play that part of the episode as the last episode and they're going to arrest him right afterwards. But they wouldn't arrest him until the final episode ran. But they actually, the documentary filmmakers worked with authorities to put this guy in prison for life. I would never do that. In fact, I remember when Keefe came in and did his first interview, he walked out of the room to talk to his co-writer who was there in the room with us. And my cameraman looks at me and said, "The mic's still on." And I said, "Turn it off. I'm not here trying to catch people on hot mics."
Right.
It's not my style.
Yeah, it's not your style.
It's not my style. I want people to know, listen, when you sit in front of me and you talk in front of these cameras, you're wearing a mic and
Yes.
there's another mic pointing at you and there's 3 cameras pointing at you. You know for a fact that all of this is going to publicly come out.
Absolutely.
But if you walk out and think you're having a private conversation and I put that out,
Yes. I totally agree.
we would have a different kind of relationship.
No.
And I would have a different type of image.
I think that you are a stand-up guy, and let me tell you why. No matter what people have said, Vlad is the police, Vlad is this.
Right.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
You have never let that sway you any kind of way. And when people used to try to hit me up about TK, why you doing Vlad? And I used it as to tell them, no man should never tell another man who to be friends with. Mm-hmm. Because if you're a man, you make decisions on your own. And this ain't no we in the street type of business. This ain't you gonna give me a bottle of liquor at the liquor store. This is a genuine friendship. We was associates at first. Now we're friends. Because we 9-10 years in deep now. Easy, you know?
No, longer than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of the first comics that you've had.
Yeah, sure.
And our relationships have just grown and grown and grown. Our reputation, things you've probably heard of me, you see that as I've grown as a man, like, wow, TK has really developed. Even my man DL will sit here and say how TK has evolved as a man. To hear people talk about me in such a positive way means everything to me.
Well, look, I remember that there's moments that have made me say, I'm never going to prison. Watching American Me was one of those moments. And I just had another moment recently.
Okay.
Terrence Gangster Williams, Birdman's half-brother.
Yes.
Came on my show recently.
Yes, I saw it. I didn't read it, but I saw it, yeah.
We got into a conversation about how the older guys basically take advantage of younger inmates sexually.
Wow.
One of the ways is they'll start play fighting in the cell and they'll start like punching him in the stomach and see what happens. If the younger guy fights back, they leave him alone. But if he just sort of takes it and doesn't really fight back, then they know, okay, this guy's weak.
Wow.
I'm going to take his ass.
Okay.
But it gets worse. He said he heard an older inmate tell a younger guy, your hand can't be gay.
I've seen guys do this. Man, I don't got nothing, man. Man, what you want me to do? What you mean? Man, I'll do something for you. I've seen old heads tell youngsters, man, jack me up, man, your hand not gonna be no punk. Your hand not gonna be gay. Bro, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I've seen and heard so many games being played, bro.
So he's basically trying to talk him into a hand job.
Man.
He said, your hand can't be gay. This is an actual conversation that he heard in prison. He was locked up for like 20-something years.
Right, right.
When you get to the point in life where you're trying to talk guys into hand jobs, or you're sitting there trying to have a man talk you into giving them a hand job and justify it saying, well, you're not really being gay if it's just your hand. This is just not a world you want to be in.
No. But I'm gonna tell you
You
what,
just don't want to be in this world.
My moment is when we do these interviews and we talk about stuff like this. Mm-hmm. I use it to remind me of how it could have been.
Yeah.
And I hear the stories and listen to what you say about it. I hear my stories and mention it. And I sit here and think about 20, 30 years later, what I've become. And that's why I don't even hang out. I do my shows. I don't even want to be in a situation that can cause me any problem.
Yeah.
Any problem. I don't want nothing to do with it. That's how serious it is to me.
Yeah, I don't go out that much. I don't go to clubs.
Yeah, I don't do it.
I don't do the industry events constantly. I don't go to the hood to film.
No.
I don't go to other people's studios. You come here. If I feel unsure, I'll have my own security. I'm not messing around. And if I feel like, you know something, if I'm thinking, man, I should bring my pistol with me,
then you shouldn't go.
I don't go.
Right. I agree.
If I feel I got to bring my pistol with me, I'll either call my security to come with me or I just won't go.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the two.
I'd rather have my candles in the morning, sip on some coffee. That's what I do. When I'm home, it's early in the morning, when it's still dark out, like 4, I get up like about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I go downstairs, I got CNN News, or I might see what I want to invest in on the stock. I get my tea or coffee, and I got my candles lit, and I'm sitting there contemplating. And normally my show's already booked way in advance. So I just really be thinking about material, of what I want to talk about, or something might get me a great idea, right? And I go, bam, I could put that in my act. And I heard a girl one day, she said she wanted to come to my show and clean. She said, you say the same stuff. I said, you're not a fan of me. She said, what do you mean? I said, everybody knows I do a different show, young lady.
Yeah.
I said, so I know you're not a fan. You just thought you could say something this morning because you don't have nothing to say. But if you're a true fan of TK Kirkland, you know I do a different show. Matter of fact, you watched me. You came to one of my shows. Yeah. Then you were somewhere out of country. And you played me in your hotel room. You said, I'd never seen you do that material before. Right. And you was rolling.
Yep.
That's my point.
True. Well, Krishan Rock.
Why is that name familiar?
That's Blueface's baby mother.
Okay. They say something wrong with the baby.
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that.
Okay.
So I interviewed DJ Academics recently.
Okay. Interesting guy.
So at one point, he was talking to the president of Zeus. They were trying to work out some stuff. And the guy was like, hey, let me put you on FaceTime with Krishan. Krishan gets on FaceTime with Academics. Fully pregnant, smoking a blunt. And he was like, yo, what? You're pregnant. She's like, shh. He's like, shh. Yo, you don't have to hush me. Like, you're the one that's going to have to deal with this later on. Fully pregnant, smoking blunts. I think there's videos of her drinking.
Yes, I saw that.
And now the baby's out. They're saying it's possibly a fetal alcohol syndrome.
Yes.
The baby's
You can
eyes,
tell something's wrong. It's sad.
It's the saddest thing I think that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at what's happening in the hip-hop world, and she's definitely part of that, to have a baby, and I hope it's just not true. I just hope maybe...
No, there's something wrong with the baby.
Maybe the baby will grow into its features later on. I don't know. But from the outside looking in, the baby does look like it's somewhat different.
Something's wrong with
than a regular baby.
Yeah, right, I agree.
And it was because you couldn't not get high for 9 months?
You think it's a game. The kids think it's a game. They all fucking think it's a game. Like, it's irritating me. They all think it's a game. From jail to smoking and drinking, having a baby.
Blueface in jail right now. Right now. You got a baby that possibly has birth defects, and your baby's father's in jail.
Yes.
Now,
how long did he get? Because I saw what he got.
I heard it's not that long. Maybe 6 months or something like that. I think it was like a violation. Like, from what I understand, from what academics told me, was like he wasn't supposed to go back to academics. To Las Vegas. And she was like, oh, stop being a bitch. Let's just go to Vegas. So he's like, okay, fine. They go to Vegas and he gets arrested and then he goes to jail. Just dumb, not thinking ahead behavior. You know what? I remember I hit up Wack. Me and Wack are cool now. I said, yo, man, I'm sorry to hear about your artist going to jail. He said, actions and consequences. Can't even be mad at it. You know?
Right.
He knew he wasn't supposed to do something. He did it anyways. He got caught. Everybody loses. You know?
I'm going to do the best I can and stay out the way because I see nothing but confusion.
Mr. C, he passed away.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know, I believe his funeral's coming up, or maybe it's already happened, but you know, there's the whole transgender thing.
I agree. I know about it.
His transgender friends need to show up at that funeral, represent. That's what I think.
Yeah. I totally
come
agree.
in, show out.
Right. You know, because they really know how to do it.
Throw themselves on the coffin, make it real dramatic. Represent.
Yeah, and he wasn't shy about it, right?
Well, after he got caught.
Yeah, after he got caught. Yeah, because he was keeping them low.
I mean, listen, me and Mr. C didn't get along. Like, I remember because we were covering the news a lot back then, so we were covering this whole story when it first started to break. He called me up all upset, saying it was all fake, it wasn't true, he was calling it a he, she, whatever. And I'm like, listen, if you want to come and do an interview, talk about it. I ain't doing an interview. I said, all right, that's cool. And then sometime later, me and this rapper who I used to roll with, we went to Hot 97 because Lisa Evers was interviewing me for Street Soldiers. Mm-hmm. And when we walked in, he saw me and then just sort of ran off. And then the next day I get a call saying that because of our situation, he was blocking that rapper from ever getting played on Hot 97.
Man.
Like Funkmaster Flex told this rapper that.
Right.
And I called Mr. C about this, and he didn't deny it. He goes, yeah, man, you're not going to talk shit about me and then come to my, company and think you're going to get any work done. And I said, I didn't care, but it was like, I was cool with this guy, so I said, okay, fine, we'll stop covering it.
Okay, right.
So Mr. C was trying to cover up the whole transgender thing and everything else like that.
Did they say what he died from?
I don't know.
Okay, well, yeah.
He was heavy set. He was older. Let me see how old. Let me see. Mr. C age. He was 57. Not that old.
Not that old.
But he had a big belly and
people again. That's how come I always say my age.
Yeah, which is
64.
Look, have you ever seen a fat 80-year-old?
Never.
Okay, so if you are fat right now, you're probably not going to get to see old age.
That's so true.
Yes, you might break the norm, and listen, me and Faison, we talk about this a lot. I want Faison to lose weight. Every interview, I mention it.
Right.
I remember he was talking about how he took his daughter to Disneyland and he had to be on one of those little scooters, to get around because he couldn't walk,
I told him about Lifeline screening too. I told him to Google it. And hopefully look
yeah, that's my man. I was at his house in Atlanta. Like, we had lunch afterwards, the whole nine. We go back. But you're not going to, Big Cap, he died around the same age. Mm-hmm. A lot of these hip-hop figures who don't take care of themselves, who get heavy,
mm-hmm.
who have guts and, are 50, 100 pounds overweight, once they hit their 50s, the clock is ticking. This is why I lost weight and I kept it off.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks real good. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Because I want to live.
Yeah, you want to live.
I want to live.
Kids, man.
My dad made it to 84. I'm trying to get past that.
Yeah, I'm 64 and I'm trying to get 40 more summers.
Oh yeah. Now I was listening to your stand-up on the way here, and you were saying how if you ever get put in an assisted living home, you're gonna go down the hall to all the women on your floor. You're gonna be like, you get a scooter. You get a scooter.
Yeah,
you get a scooter.
Because I believe in being a player to the end, man. You know, back in the day we get girls cars, but now we get them scooters. You know.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we do. We get them scooters, and you got me smiling because I'm thankful.
Look, my dad was in an assisted living home near the end of his life. We weren't happy about it. He wasn't happy about it, but he had Parkinson's.
Okay.
So we couldn't take care of him at home anymore.
Right,
It just became an impossibility.
Right.
But if I get that shit, I got my money stacked up to the point where I'll have a hospital in my house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they got insurance. I got the insurance.
Yeah.
To cover that. And I told Eris, my son, I said, listen, if I'm not married, which I probably won't be, you know, make sure you bring a couple women over on Wednesdays. And make sure I already got a female friend. I said, listen, something come out, make sure you rotate my balls with exotic oils.
Yeah.
You know, every time that you come through, because that's what I want. Keep me nice and shaved, because I like to be going to keep me haircut, manicure, pedicure, you know. And I already paid for my cremation, so I'm being cremated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I already got it done. So no matter, I forgot the name of the company, but no matter where I'm at in the world, if something happens to me, they come get me. Boom, boom, boom. It's out of Vegas.
Oh yeah, one of my relatives passed away recently, and there was a big fight over who was paying for the funeral and the money, and it was a whole mess.
Yes,
I was involved in it.
Yes,
because I don't care, but like seeing the ugliness that happens near the, you know, after someone passes is like turns your stomach.
Yes, it's very bad.
It's very bad. It's been worse. But what I saw, there was a fight. There was
and if you can do it on your own,
they didn't want to take her off life support because they were trying to figure out her bank accounts. Like the whole thing was crazy.
Yes,
the whole thing was insane.
Everybody have a trust, have a will. If you could take care of your own arrangements.
Yes.
Do your own arrangements. Because believe it or not, when you take care of your own arrangements, the thing that you love that I've seen for people who've done it before me, you respect them so much more in conversation. You're like, yo, my aunt, all her stuff was taken care of. It's like a pride.
Facts.
You have a pride talking about that. But if you don't take care and everybody's fighting for what they can get, all hell's gonna break loose.
Yeah, and my last RIP is Rico Wade of Organized Noise. He just passed away at a very young age as well.
Yeah, he's young. He's a young kid.
He was 52.
Yeah, that's young.
That's 2 years older than me.
Yeah, that's young.
Listen, I interviewed him along with Organized Noise before. I was a huge fan.
Yes.
Huge fan. In fact, one of the moments in my hip-hop history career that really makes me smile was when I interviewed them, and they were really seeing how much of a fan I was and how much I knew the history. I remember I was the only one to ever compare Outkast's original style to like Souls of Mischief. They were like, oh yeah, like no one's ever mentioned that before. And I remember Rico was like, hey Vlad, you pretty cool, man. You know, you're not like how people paint you out to be. You pretty cool. And I remember hearing that going like, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
One of my moments, believe it or not, started with NWA, but I had this special moment not too long ago. I'm in Vegas, and I go see Wu-Tang. I go see Wu-Tang because I've never seen Wu-Tang perform, ever. I go there, I got a front row seat. And I want to show mad love to Wu-Tang right now. Because I'm quite sure because of Vlad.
You getting out of 64.
I was a rock star to them. They was on stage performing, and I had the little bling on. You know, I'm showing off that night. I went into the safe. But they pointing at me. They touching their heart. After the show, all of them shook my hand. And I just want them to know that out of all these years in this business, that meant so much to me because they made me feel, I felt like a star.
Yeah.
Like that night, I felt like a rock star because of them. And I want them to know that that really did a lot for me. Like it really made me feel amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have a long career in entertainment, and look, I'm now 22 years in.
Mm-hmm.
You're
40
years in.
Yes.
Go out of your way to show love to your peers
Absolutely.
and the younger generation, because don't be that guy or that girl who's too good, who's so competitive that you just make people feel uncomfortable, you're standoffish, whatever else. Show love. Tell them how you're fans of them.
I agree.
Shake their hand, take
Yep.
their picture, start mentioning things that you liked about them, and it will come back.
It's
and
so
they'll
true.
come back and rock with you, and that's how it works. We have to praise each other.
I
We have
agree.
to, it's a community.
Yes, I agree.
No matter how you feel you're one of one, that's cool. You're all part of a community.
Yes.
We all work together. We all interlap. We know the same people. We go to the same events.
I agree.
We
And
mess
there's
with the same
nothing wrong
girls,
with it.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like there's so much of it that's intermixed that you want to be well liked and you want to make people feel good. Jason Weaver got a bunch of acting roles after he was on VladTV.
Yes.
The Shy was one of them.
You're right.
He said this publicly.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens when, I don't need VladTV. No, VladTV helps.
Yes, it helps.
Millions of people check me out every day.
So true.
Jason Weaver got his biggest role of this era because of the promotion that VladTV gave
Yes.
him, and millions of people tuned in, and he got on people's radar. This is how it works. We all work together. We all help each other out. We all play our role.
Yes.
I'm not an actor. I'm not a rapper. I'm not a singer. I'm not a producer. But on the media side, I run things.
You run things.
I have a big platform.
Yes, you do.
Are there bigger platforms? Are there other favorites? Of course there are.
Yes.
But we do what we do.
You do what
and
you
you're
do.
better off rocking with me than having me be annoyed with you
I totally agree.
and avoiding you.
I agree.
And vice versa.
Vice versa.
Anyone who feels that I've ever slighted them, please hit me up. I'll make it right.
I like that.
I'll make it right. DM me.
Yes.
I'll personally respond.
Yes.
If you feel that I dissed you or I did something that you're still upset about, please hit me up. I'm 50 years old. I'll make it right.
I agree.
We may or may not do business afterwards. It doesn't matter. But whatever animosity you have, I could probably fix it.
I like that. Yep. That's what I say. You live long enough.
Yeah.
You got time to do a lot of good things.
Exactly. Exactly. So what it is, TK Kirkland.
My man Vlad,
My
until
man.
we meet again.
Peace.
Yes, sir.